Hey, it's Chris with Welcome to Housing. I had a great talk with Olivia earlier today, and she thought the best way to reach out to the meeting tonight is via video. So, I always love a challenge. Welcome to Housing started out kind of as a challenge. My fourth little brother from Big Brothers Big Sisters and I had sent out 300 copies of a letter and raised $7,300 for the Bangor Area Homeless Shelter back in 2001. And that was when I was turning 40. Well, when I was approaching 50, I contacted the Bangor Area Homeless Shelter. I said, I had a lot of fun. I'd like to do something again. We actually had a Harlem Rockets game over at Hudson. We also had a Hudson University student named Jose Vega, who was the manager of Walmart at the time. I almost hung up on him on a Saturday because all I ever heard was Mr. Olson this and Mr. Olson that. I thought it was a telemarketer, but they raised over $5,000. So when we're all done, we raised $7,300 for the shelter. That was in 2001. And 2011, I contacted the shelter, as I mentioned, and they said, we'd really like you to come in and talk with us. I had no idea that when people moved out of the shelter into permanent housing, they started out, in their case, with a $25 gift card and help with a security deposit. No bed, no cookware, no table to have their food at in the kitchen. So if you're going out for a job interview, you've been sleeping on the floor and eating nothing but fast food, that's not a good recipe for success, especially if you're going out and trying to start over as a job interview. We are 100% volunteer driven. We've been around for almost 14 years. Our anniversary will be in October. And Olivia had a great idea for something to work on, and I'll tell you about that in just a minute. But we work with 1,807 people last year, over 900 households, and we saved about 46.8, I believe it was, tons of materials, including furniture and other items, from going into the waste stream prematurely. The population or demographic we help is of all ages. We help senior citizens. We help families with children. We help people that are displaced by house fires. We help people that are moving out of shelters. We help sober living homes. We help immigrants. We help people escaping domestic violence. We help people reentering society from corrections. Anyone and everyone that needs help, statewide. We get people from southern Maine because there's a great program down in Westbrook, but they only serve Cumberland County. So we've actually had people come up from Sanford before. But there's a lot of great ways to help. We actually own our building outright up in Old Town. It's a 6,400 square foot house built back in the 1820s. And we own it outright, as I said, and it's a great place to have furniture and other items. We can always use help up there. But as I mentioned, Olivia had a great idea. Back in my days of Kiwanis, we used to do a lot of stuff at Christmas time, and this is one of my elf bears. It's not a polar bear, and it's just a regular elf bear, and he brought a few friends with him. I love the idea. I've done events with Christmas theme before. It would be great to do something at Hudson University. Maybe we could get the Gracie Theater. We could do something along those lines, but I would really love to work with you. If you have any questions, let me know. Our website is welcometohousing.com. We are on, Blue Sky. That's like Twitter was before it got all political. We're still on Twitter X. We're on Facebook. We're on LinkedIn. We're on YouTube, Instagram. That always sounded like a grandmother you added water to, a little powder. And all of a sudden you got a grandfather and a grandma. And what's the other one? There's one more. And I can't think of it right now, but that's okay. But I want you to know, if you volunteer for us, I guarantee one thing, you are going to have fun and you're going to feel really good. We have had people that have been excited about getting flatware. Why? Because they had one fork, one knife, one spoon that they were sharing with their kids and themselves. We also hand out adaptive equipment. We had a lady that was in the Tree Streets Facebook page in our neighborhood here in Bangor, and her husband was in an accident over a dozen years ago. And as it turns out, he really needed a wheelchair. Well, we got him a wheelchair. And then his wife described how hard it was for him to get out of bed at night to get to the bathroom. And I have mobility issues, so I know what that's all about. And she was describing something. I said, "Oh, a commode." And she goes, "Yes, a commode." And then a few days later, she calls me up. She says, "If it's not too much to ask, it would be possible to get like a queen-size bed. And it was really ironic because we have a lot of small world stuff happen. When we really need something, it shows up. Well, at that point in time, we were taking about 50 queen mattresses and box springs out of the Hollywood Casino Hotel, and they were in really nice shape. You know why? Because they were encased in a casing, so when we got them, they looked brand new. Well, her son and his friend came over to the hotel and picked one up directly. As it turns out, not only was her husband paralyzed from the accident, but they were sleeping on the bed with a box spring, and the mattress were basically collapsing, and he couldn't get a decent night's sleep. I can tell you a lot of stories. One is really interesting. If you have a moment, I'm going to close with this. If you go to bridging.org, that's bridging.org, it's the largest furniture bank in North America. By chance, on the anniversary of our program, on Cadillac Mountain, we met one of the volunteers. I was trying to parallel park. My wife and I were down there on my birthday in October, a few years back. It's a car right on my bumper, and I was going all Yosemite Sam. It's like really frustrated, and all of a sudden this guy walks up out of nowhere. He gets the car to move. We park. I couldn't give him a card fast enough, and it was so cool. I said, I understand you're in Maine from Minnesota for the first time. If you get lost or have any questions, here's my business card. On the back of my business card, opposite the real estate side, is welcome to housing. About 15 minutes later, he comes running across the mountain, waving my car. He says, I volunteer for something like this in Minnesota. And as I said, when we got back to the car, my wife found a brochure under the windshield wiper, and she was oohing and ahhing. And I said, what? She goes, it's not just a furniture bank. No, she didn't sound like Casey Kasem. It's not just a furniture bank. It's the largest one in all of North America. It's a great program. It's a lot of fun. And I'm not saying that on behalf of myself. I'm saying it on behalf of all the volunteers and the community support. And we would love to get Beyond the Game involved. So please consider it, and we can work something out. I do a lot of virtual meetings, but I'd be happy to give anybody a tour of our warehouse up in Old Town. And I would love to come over to the Hudson campus. Thank you so much for your time.